But you guys, stay out of the kitchen. So I'm just gonna give a little bit of the personal stories behind this and the relationships behind this club, just to put that out there. So, you know, it all starts with this little white kid from whose family's from New York, and this little black kid whose family's from New Orleans, who when they were 7 moved to neighboring houses in Nashville here and became best friends. And they stayed best friends for 40 years. And they ended up working in the same corporate office together, writing software for healthcare industry in this cubicle here, these cubicles. And you know, I see it a lot kind of like a wedding here. I mean, sorry, Michelle, but you know, they've got this relationship that's been for 40 years, and they're taking the next step now, which is they're committing in this financial and legal way, and it's what's making this place so awesome. It's taking Mike's food and Adam's music and making something bigger out of it. And I just want to say, you know, a lot of us have a lot at stake here, a lot we put in financially, a lot of investments we put into this, it's at risk. I think one of the most important things that's put into this is their relationship. And I just want to say that, you know, we're here to honor that and to support them. It's going to be tough at times, and the thing I want to value and want to keep most out of this is their relationship, because I think that's what this is based on, and that's so important. You know, they'll do fine. You know, they worked for 15 years in this corporate office here, which they can tell you all sorts of stories about this company. And, you know, they were looking for ways out. They were looking for ways to express their creativity and do something meaningful. And Mike started selling seafood pies. This is his family's recipe, and he was selling them at Whole Foods, at Bonnaroo, and at farmers markets, and there's some food reviews out there that really outstanding critical reviews of this food here. And Adam, who, you know, he played guitar since he was a little kid, and Reggie Wooten was his teacher for a long time, and he ended up, in 2009-10, playing a regular gig with Rudy Wooten. And such a good thing, you know. When you find something that works and somebody that works and something that's meaningful, it's you know how important that is. And this was so stabilizing and so important for, you know, him to do something meaningful. And anyone that knew Rudy knows that he was such a sweet and generous and sincere person, and so, I mean, not a mean bone in his body. Anyone that, you know, anytime I talked to him, he made me feel good. And he was an amazing sax player too. And you know, when I was putting this slideshow together, I was looking at online, and I came across Adam's website with this nice picture of him here from a while back, and you know, I noticed that his website hasn't been updated since 2010. And if you look at the shows, he's still got a list of shows here. Every week he's playing with Rudy. And this is 2010, the summer. The shows go through the end of July. And July 10th was the last show they played together. He passed away 2 days later, still with his saxophone. I think Adam was the last one to see him. And it hit a lot of people hard, and it hit Adam really hard. I think you can see the sort of emptiness that happened there. And Adam, I don't think he played a gig for 7 years after that. And I think he ended up sort of just going back into this box. And the corporate environment got worse and worse. They got to be a really evil kind of place. And so, I remember I was talking to Adam on FaceTime in 2014, I think, and he was like, oh God, we got to get out of there. And he had these ideas, like, he and Mike had been scheming, like, he had this idea for, he was going to take, oyster mushrooms or shiitake mushrooms, and he figured they could lower cholesterol. He was making these little pills and giving them. And he was selling photographs at a craft fair. He started the side software business, and he said, me and Mike were talking about opening a jazz club, and I was like, well, if you do the jazz club, you have to name it Rudy's. And as soon as we sort of had that vision of Rudy's, it was like it was like we'd sort of stepped on a water slide and couldn't turn back. You know, we were just like, yeah, Rudy's, we have to do that. It's kind of like we put it out there and we couldn't take it away from Rudy. It's such like a fitting way to honor him, honor that relationship, make meaning out of all that, you know, him and Adam had done. And the way I kind of see it, it's not like we like made a jazz club and then we're like, what should we call it? Let's call it Rudy's. It was more like Rudy made this jazz club happen. It's Rudy's spirit. It's Rudy that you know made this happen. It's really Rudy made this thing. And so, you know, without Rudy's, Adam would probably be selling mushrooms at a festival. So. And so Rudy is so deeply in this project here that, you know, every time I'm hammering the walls or doing anything in here, I'm thinking about him, and I feel like he's really in here. And so that's, you know, this is so deeply Rudy's jazz room here. So when we set out to make a jazz club, has anyone been to Small's Jazz Club in New York City? Yeah, it's maybe not like the first jazz club you think of when you think of New York and jazz clubs, and we like it because it's not pretentious. It doesn't have like the white tablecloths. It's pretty intimate. It's got the really this close sort of music first environment, and it's pretty casual. And that's kind of what we were aiming to bring, that kind of listening experience here. And so we looked for the right space. I'm glad we're not in this garage or in this building that was torn down or this weird corporate thing there. This is really the perfect space. And this is what it looked like a while ago. And it has a lot of history. It's an 1800s building that apparently was used by this train company. It's a St. Louis train. This is just a rumor, but we've heard, but I'm repeating it again. But I think they were actually using this for their offices. This stone wall here is acoustically a really nice feature because it's irregular. It's got cavities. It's not parallel to the wall over there, so it makes for a diffuser, and it has cavities in it. And so there's a lot we can do with the sound environment in here. So build out took about a year. It was supposed to take 6 months, but a lot of that was at one point they found a jawbone under the cement where they're digging, and I don't think it was a human, but it was something weird that slowed things down. But mostly, a lot of it was because we were really particular about what we wanted, and our architect will tell you we drew and redrew lines, and we made contractors undo things and redo things because we wanted, we wanted this space. And over that year, we had a lot of help from people doing the finishing touches to all the people that were, as Jeff said, that donated to this Kickstarter campaign. We, about 300 people in Nashville raised over $45,000 for this piano here, and it's such a. So we also, we went and handpicked every little piece of furniture out here. So every chair, every table has some story behind it, and there's a lot of real history in this building. And so I think we're really proud of the space that we've created here. It's one of the things, it's got the bar right next to the stage here, which is, we built this layout around the piano and with the bar here, which you might think is counterintuitive if you want a listening environment. Because maybe the bar is going to be loud next to the stage, but I think this is how Small sets it up, and I think the reason it works is because if the bar is back there, it sort of splits the focus. People are looking there, looking here. When it's right here, the focus is up here, and there can be a sort of tension in the dynamic between the bar and the stage. But really, we want the music to come first. We want people to know that we're always about the music here, and if you're at the bar, we're about the music here. And we've got this listening section up here so that the musicians feel respected, and so that this is, we have world-class musicians that are going to come here and feel like we're here to, for the music. And we're still playing with some of the sound levels, how to get all the spots right, how to mic the pianos, how to get the volumes, how to get the crowd noises right. We don't want to be like the Bluebird where it's just, hush, you're not allowed to talk. But we also don't want to be one of those places where there's so much chatter that the sound guy says, oh, let's turn up the volume, and the people talk louder, and it's sort of this escalating conflict. We want to be in kind of a nice medium place where people are having nice, respectful conversations, feel relaxed, but also are always aware of the music here. And so, how we get there, it's going to take a little bit, but I think we've done pretty well so far, and maybe we'll have some Rudy's Unplugged nights where it's just no mic at all. I think that'd be fun. But I think it's a pretty cool space, and I think we're going to do a lot of good here. I'm just gonna turn it over to, if I can make this work, to Rudy Wooten here. It's about 5 minutes of a little video I just want to play.
Yeah, but why don't they